What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today's video, we're gonna be finally working on some of my own personal projects here in the garage. I know in the last couple videos I've been working on a couple mini bikes. Two of them I picked up to actually fix up and flip, which I got those things sold and finally out of here, cleared up some space in here. And then last video we fixed up my buddy's mini bike, completely restored that since I crashed it, got that thing painted up, looking good, and he finally took that thing home, so I even cleared up a little bit more space. And since mini bikes are still kind of fresh on my mind, I thought, why not fix up my two personal mini bikes, get these things 100% ready to go, so we ain't gotta worry about those while we're working on all the quad projects we got going on here. So luckily, these two don't really need too much. This one just kind of needs a little chain. This one really just needs to get torn down completely and painted since this orange is ugly, and then all the bare metal spots are starting to rust, so I kind of want to save it before it rusts out too much. So I gotta decide if I want to paint this or powder coat it, and actually what color to do with that. And then we got the $40 drag quad I just started working on a little bit back. We ended up ripping out the motor. Gonna put a 6 horsepower in there. I just gotta figure out what motor I'm actually gonna build and what parts we're gonna need to get it hopped up to make like 12 to 15 horsepower and get that thing 100% ready to go. And that's gonna cost a little bit of money, so I'm trying to hold off on that for just a little bit right now. So I thought, why not fix up both mini bikes since it should be pretty cheap, and I would like to take these things testing later on since I found a pretty dope spot low by that has a good little drag spot for the off-road drag bike and then a couple trails for the $100 mini bike. So we got both bikes here. They don't really need too much. This off-road drag bike, really the first project I built on this channel from the ground up, really been perfect, hasn't really given me any issues until the rear fender here decided to kind of snap off the back here. It literally didn't snap my weld, it snapped the main plate that I actually had for it to mount onto. So I think we can just kind of line that back up, get it welded in place, and it should be good to go. It's just really close to the bolt holes, so that's gonna be a little fun to figure out. But other than that, just kind of give this thing a once over since I haven't really done too much to this thing, and just make sure she's good to go. I did notice that the chain tensioner down there is pretty wore out, so I'm hoping I have one around here in the shop. If not, I can order on Amazon, have it here in a day or two, and be good to go. The $100 mini bike doesn't really need too much at all either. Really just needs a chain since this chain is rough. Got a bunch of little hard spots, kind of see that one there, and kind of going all the way down. Bunch of hard spots in it, so it literally just keeps going loose and tight. So I finally picked up a new one, so it should be good to go there. And then I 3D printed up a little battery mount so we can actually use the headlight for once. Since I already wired it all up, you can kind of see the red wire down there. I literally wired it all up in the last video we did with it. I even put a switch in right here, so this thing is good to go. It just literally needs the battery spot in there mounted in the box. So knock that out real quick and this bike will be pretty much good. I do have a bunch of plans to actually do with these bikes in the future. I just kind of want to get your guys' opinions on a few things, and I'll talk about that later. I just don't want like a 10-minute intro talking about mini bikes too much. So really just want to get to work on these things, get these things knocked out so we can take them testing either tomorrow or the day after. So I'm going to start working on the off-road drag bike, getting the fender all welded in. So once that's welded, we can spray some paint on it, let that dry, and in the meantime we can work on the $100 mini bike, getting them both knocked out, and then take them testing by the end of today's video. So let's get to work. Enough talking, and catch you guys here in a little bit. So we just got the fender bracket all welded back onto the off-road drag bike, and she is looking good, nice and strong. And then I ended up throwing a quick coat of paint on there and let it dry overnight, and then tomorrow we can mount the rear fender. And I tried looking around for a tensioner, little roller, but didn't really have any around the shop, so ordered one on Amazon. Should be here tomorrow, so that'll kind of wrap up the off-road drag build, other than me kind of checking the oil and maybe the belt as well, making sure those are all good to go. So now that we got a few more hours left tonight, I think I'm gonna work on the $100 mini bike, actually getting the battery mounted up into the box here. Since we got this little adapter here, it should be super easy. Got 4 little spots. I'll probably just rivet it right into kind of the center section right there, make it a little bit easier to access, and it should be pretty quick. I just got to pull off the intake and actually the box itself to kind of get in there and wire that all in. And then I actually got to glue in little pins in this adapter here, because I remember on the off-road drag bike, I did not glue those pins in, so whenever you actually hit some bumps with the lights on, they kind of flicker a little bit, and I don't want that to happen on this bike. So glue those things in, should be more than solid, and then actually mount up the adapter in the box. And probably just kind of show you guys once it's all finished up, because it's pretty straightforward for the most part, especially since I already got it wired in. So I just kind of got to hook up the positive and negative to the battery, and she should be good to go. And then especially since it's night right now, I would love to test it and actually see how bright this light is, because I have no idea. And if so, we'll end up having to upgrade them in the future to like some more LED bars, or kind of something more that kind of fits the style of bike. But other than that, enough talking, let's get to work. I'll show you guys once we get her all finished up. What's up, guys? So it's actually the next day. Last night I was talking about starting to work on actually mounting the battery adapter inside the little air box, storage box kind of thing up here, which I already got it all knocked out. But when I started gluing in the little pins into the battery adapter, the glue I used ended up taking forever to dry. So I kind of just left it overnight and got it finished up today. So it was pretty quick and easy, really wasn't too much. Kind of just get those 2 pins wired in, and then literally just kind of rivet it right into the bottom of the box as straight as possible. It's pretty close, and everything fits pretty nice in there. I got a battery right here, so we can plug her in there and show you guys how it looks. So clicks right in there, nice and perfect. And then we got the little switch right here. I glued it right in there, so that works perfectly. And we got a light on there. So luckily with this setup, I don't really need to run a relay or anything like I did on the off-road drag bike with the LED lights on there. It still has its factory little voltage regulator that kind of comes with these bikes when they have the stator on the motor and all that. So kind of just left it in there, and it should be fine with the kind of drill battery put on there. So now that we got that all fixed up, we just got to get a chain knocked out on this bike, and that thing will be all finished up. But it is the next day already, so that chain tensioners already ended up coming in the mail for the off-road drag bike. So I want to get those knocked out real quick and actually get the fender all mounted up before I get a bunch of oil all over my hands with the new chain mounting up on this thing. So I'm going to knock out this thing real quick, get this thing all wrapped up, and then we can wrap up this thing. And I'm not sure if I'm going to take these things out testing today. I might take them out in a little bit, or we'll just kind of plan it out for tomorrow, kind of take both of these toys out, do some testing on them, and see how they do. So I just finished up working on both of the mini bikes. We got the rear fender all mounted back onto the off-road drag bike. It is about in where it was before, but the welds that I kind of put in there are kind of messing with the bolts a little bit, so you can kind of see that one's a little bit crooked. So it's all bolted up and solid for now. I think I'll probably end up redoing that later on once I actually redo this bike in the future, which I'm kind of planning on. But we got the new tensioner in there. Really, I should have bought something that's a little bit more like a skateboard wheel, because comparing these two, you can see they're kind of about similar with that little groove in the center. So it's basically about the same as it was before with the old tensioner. So really I kind of waste my money on those, but I'll have them for the future. It is what it is. And I'll kind of find something that's a little bit more round, like a skateboard wheel, that I actually kind of hold a little bit more tension on that chain. Chain really didn't give me any issues, so I'm not really too worried about it. But the $100 mini bike, we got the new chain slapped up on there, and she is nice and tight. I literally got it as tight as I possibly could, because I already know this chain's gonna stretch out a little bit. They all do, so why not get it tied up now so I ain't gotta worry about it later on, ripping around and it coming loose in the future. So that's all good to go. So the last thing I really want to do on both bikes is kind of just check the oil on them, make sure they're both good. I already know both of them kind of need a change because they both probably have like 10 to 15 hours each on them. So get an oil change on them in the future, but at least check them, make sure they're both good. And then I haven't decided if I want to take them out tonight or tomorrow. I might do it tomorrow just so I have a little bit more time to kind of rip around, but we still have some daylight tonight, so I'm still kind of on iffy if I want to do it tonight. But I still have a few things I want to do for the $100 mini bike. I want to get rid of all these kind of stock stickers and replace them with some custom ones I whipped up last night. So I'm going to knock that out real quick and I'll show you guys that when I get this thing all finished up. And just like that, we got some fresh stickers up on the $100 mini bike. I ended up getting most of them put on there, and then I messed up the last one, so I ended up having to go inside and remake that, and had a couple buddies come over, and it is now dark. So we're gonna end up actually taking the mini bikes out tomorrow. It'll give us a little bit more time to at least play around with them and kind of have a little bit more daylight as well. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with how 2 mini bikes came out. Nothing too crazy that we actually had to do with them, but getting really fixed up. So hoping they're all good. I'm probably gonna take this one for a test drive, maybe stretch the chain a little bit if I can. And if I need to tighten up the motor, I can do that now before actually out in the middle of nowhere with no tools. But I'm pretty happy with these red stickers on here. I thought it'd be kind of a cool little match to the springs and the button there. And I'm actually gonna be posting my little 49cc stickers that I have on pretty much all the toys in the shop here up on my website in a couple of days. I'm hoping to at least have them up by the time this video goes live. So if you guys are interested in those, probably post them up pretty cheap. It's gonna be DillPicklesPerformance.com. If you guys want to help support me or any of my builds I got going on here, I'd appreciate it. But other than that, toys are all ready to roll. So tomorrow, first thing once I get home from work, we're gonna load them up and take it out to the local spot and have some fun with these things. All right, so I got both mini bikes loaded up in the truck here and came out to the spot. It is a little late in the day, so hoping to get a little bit of riding before the sun actually goes down. I did bring a battery for the $100 mini bike, so if we want to use the light, we can use the light on that. But other than that, I think I'm just going to start off with the off-road drag bike, test that thing out with some straights, and just kind of check the place out, because I'm hearing some people over there, so I'm kind of curious on that. And it's literally just like a little island kind of thing that has just like a bunch of little hills on it, so it's perfect for the $100 mini bike, and it's got a good straight section for the off-road drag bike. So I want to test this thing out first, make sure she's all good, and then if we really need the light, we got it on the $100 mini bike to actually test that thing out. But other than that, enough talking, let's get the riding. I'll strap you guys up on the head cam, and I brought my tripod with me, so we'll try to get some outside shots too. All right, I'm at one of the islands, so there's like 6 of these islands in a row. Really, I want to be on that one over there because that one has all the hills and stuff, but there seems to be a bunch of people over there, and I don't really want to bother them with a straight pipe mini bike, and then I have the other mini bike still to rip around. So I found this one. Not sure how, I'm not going to talk about that, but let's just rip around, I guess. Let's see what happens. I got my tripod, so I think I'm just gonna set it down somewhere and hopefully don't lose it, and let's just see what happens. I mean, just I'll find it. So far this thing's been pretty good. It did pop the chain off once so far, just me kind of cruising over here like, all right, well that worked, but cruising over here like 200 or 300 feet, the chain did pop off once. So I think something just hit the tensioner, but I did kind of put a little bit of tape on the tensioner too, just to kind of thicken it up a little bit for the chain to actually grab onto and tighten it up a little bit. So we'll see. Come on, baby. There we go. Oh, she wants to take off. Damn, all right. I guess let's just rip her around a little bit, feel her out, make sure this chain ain't gonna pop off again. And I want to do a little rip. If I can find a good straight section, which a lot of this looks pretty straight. Never been out on this side before, that's for sure. Pretty dope little spot though. She still rips though, I'll give her that. Woo. Definitely bumpy, that's for sure. Definitely bumpy. Woo, god damn. Alright, this section is definitely a lot more rougher than over here. I just don't want to do a couple quick little hits with this thing out here, and then we'll get the $100 mini bike and actually rip around a little bit and have some fun. Because I want to break that chain in and stretch it out a little bit. Let's see, maybe we can do a little rip right here. Load her up a bit. Straight spin. Definitely rips. A little sketchy going a little fast on these bumps. But damn, this spot is pretty dope though. It is flat as hell. It's like perfect for something that has like minimal suspension and can pretty much go as fast as you want. Oh, that's the exit right there. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure I'm not getting lost. Alright, we're gonna swing around. Let's do another rip up and down real quick, and then we'll go get the $100 mini bike and have some fun with that. Oh, well, that's a new one. Okay. The pop tune I have in this thing is literally just a bunch of fuel thrown into it and getting it to idle kind of the best I can. So that's, you might hear the pops coming and it doing this. So she's good though. She got a fresh tank of 93. I filled her up on the way here, so this thing should be mint. All right, let's try this again. We'll try not to load it up as much. Jesus Christ. Oh, and there goes the chain. And the best part is I lost my chain tensioner spring, so I might be walking this thing fucking back to the truck. Well, this is part of testing, because you're going to break it now instead of being out in the middle of nowhere and actually being like a mile or two from the truck to get this thing fixed. So, well, there goes this bike for the night, and as you can tell, my tensioner is fucked. Let me see if I can try to find the spring real quick, and if not, next clip you guys will be seeing me walking this thing back to the truck. Let's go. I found it literally like right there after walking it back, so we can slap this bitch on. Hopefully I can get this on with my bare hands. I'm not too sure on that because normally I use needle noses, but since this thing's been so loose lately, I think I can get it with my hands. Let's see. Come on, get in the hole. I'm good at filling holes. Come on, baby. Yeah, this thing is really loose. Like, I should not be able to do this by hand. Come on, get on there. Right there. Nice. Wow, that thing got really loose. Alright, well, I'm just going to pull this thing back to the truck. We'll get the $100 mini bike and actually have some fun ripping around this little kind of flat section. Alright, so we're finally out here with the $100 mini bike after the chain popped off the off-road mini bike like 4 times on the way back. So wasn't really too fun, but we got this thing and I do have a battery in it, so if we need the light, we got the light to use it. But I think I'm just gonna rip it around a little bit, really just breaking this new chain because it seems like I made it a little too tight where it's wanting to crank over the motor a little bit, and it literally wants to go whenever I start it. So maybe I can stretch that out a little bit and get her good to go. But other than that, this bike's perfect. So let's have some fun with it a little bit before it gets too dark. You guys can see it like wants to go, but it'll sort of run. It's weird. But once they're going, it's good. At least this thing's got suspension, so it's actually like kind of nice to cruise. It's not like wanting to fucking throw me off the bike. But this spot is sweet. I need to bring the boys out here one of these days. Have some fun. Only if it was a little bit more hilly, I would love it. But I do like the flatness because you can kind of just rip on it. Alright. Oh, alright, I guess the lid flicked on the, oh, flicked it off. God, this thing rips. I just gotta make sure there's no holes I'm gonna hit because I don't want to crash this thing. So I guess we can just kind of look around a little bit. Make sure we're good. Man, if I had this, God, the possibilities I could do here are crazy. Ugh. Definitely rattle your brains a little bit. Not bad though, not a bad little spot. Look how huge this is. God damn, I need to bring the quad out here and really do some kind of straight line testing with them. Woo! I'm just scared of a hole being right in the middle somewhere. That's exactly how I crashed Tark's bike. Alright, let's get some lighting in this bitch. Hell yeah! Oh, alright, if the lid doesn't stop turning it off. Hell yeah, this is perfect for riding trails. It would be nice to kind of have a light, like a headlamp too, because then you kind of look around instead of wherever the bike's looking, but not too shabby. I'm happy with it. As long as it's, oh, alright, I guess we're turning the light off now. My back is definitely feeling it after riding the off-road mini bike, because that thing is too rigid and definitely hurt my back a little bit, but yeah, we're gonna have some fun with this bad boy. Oh God, it sounds so good. Jesus Christ, God, you can get flying on this thing. Woo! Alright. Let me see, maybe I can get some outside clips with the tripod real quick for you guys before it gets too dark. And then we'll basically call it a night, pack up before it is pitch black out and I can't see anything. Where's my tripod? There it is. Seems like I stretched the chain out. She's actually wanting to run by herself now. Hell yeah. I knew that would work. Oh yeah, I stretched her out just perfectly. I know I need to lube up the clutch. Trust me, I've seen the comments. Everyone's telling me. Alright, we'll see how this clip comes out. I know the lighting's not the best, but I gotta get a couple flybys because I still haven't really heard what this thing hears like. Sounds like. God damn, my hair looks crazy, but let's go rip it. Before I get a little too confident on this thing, we're gonna call it because it's about pitch black and I don't want to be loading up in the dark. So I'm gonna catch you guys at the house and we'll talk a little bit more. So we're back in the garage, finally got both the toys unloaded and back in here. I'm gonna get them both cleaned up tomorrow once I actually have some daylight, of course. Luckily most of the stuff I was driving through wasn't really too kind of wet or anything like that. It wasn't really like mud, so it wasn't really kicking up these things. Luckily, this bike did amazing, didn't have any issues with this at all, and the light is actually really great at night, so I think I'm definitely going to hook up some lights on basically all the toys in the shop, and then my buddy's mini bikes as well. I want to get them some lights so we can all do some night riding. But other than that, $100 mini bike really just needs some tires because this thing likes to spin a good bit, and then I want to still play around with the gearing like I said in the beginning of this video, and just really get this thing 100% where I want it to be, and then I don't really have to touch this thing at all anymore, especially now that we got the light and everything all hooked up. $100 mini bike gave us some issues, like the chain tensioner keep popping off, so I think I just need to really get a skateboard wheel in there and it should fix it perfectly. But I did want to talk, I do have some good plans with this mini bike specifically, and since kind of my first build on the channel, I thought why not at least kind of give it the upgrade it kind of needs. So instead of actually having the 6 horsepower in here, I'm considering swapping in the little 11 horsepower I got hiding under the table there in here, because I did test fit it whenever I had this thing a bare frame like a year ago, and it fit pretty well. I just had to do like a little finagling, getting the chain and everything to all line up. But now that I had some experience with all these other toys, I think I can get it knocked out. I just want to know if you guys want to see that. If do 11 horsepower on the drag off-road bike and actually put some slicks back on it, so then we can actually make it like a street drag bike and try to make this thing go like 70, 80, which is basically like a stock Honda GX340. So well, let me know your guys' thoughts on that. It's kind of what I'm thinking, but other than that, that's pretty much gonna wrap up today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I haven't even seen the off-road clips or the testing clips outside, so I'm gonna go check those out, see how those did. So I'm sorry if they were bad, but hoping they were good. I'm trying to just aim it a little bit better so you guys can actually see what I'm driving and kind of see the machine I'm riding too. But other than that, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hope you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content, and peace out.